In this video lesson, we will talk about effective communication resources, primarily technical assistance tools for sustainable systems. Resources and activities that assist school climate teams in implementing a sustainable system through effective communication. First, we will take a look at active listening, resources and tools needed to be an active listener. For one, when you're sitting around the school climate team table, we want to be attentive. Be attentive by paying attention to the discussion and the speaker and not looking at your phone or participating in other activities. Use nonverbal cues. Nonverbal cues being look with your eyes, nod. Show to the speaker that you are paying attention. Be empathetic and reflective. Clarify, summarize, and paraphrase. 3 things that make up interpersonal communication. And withhold judgment. And of course, use self-awareness. Self-awareness meaning, what's my thoughts on this? What's my bias? What am I thinking? Again, active listening is being able to pay attention to the speaker, so be present in the moment, practice the non-judgment, know that productive silence is okay, and show attentiveness by asking questions. And of course, ask questions. Some of the things we're going to look at interpersonal communication is specifically clarification and paraphrasing. Interpersonal communication is a tool that builds trust, is non-evaluative, and is non-judgmental. So it conveys to the listener that you heard the speaker and it seeks to better understand. Some examples of clarification would be gathering more information, exploring the meaning of the language being used. Learn more about the speaker's reasoning and seek connections between ideas and maintain focus. Paraphrasing communicates that the listener has heard the speaker, understood, and it can extend the thinking. Some examples are listener restates the speaker said in own words, summarizes what was said, organizes what was heard, and seeks affirmation. So let's look at some sentence statements. Let me see if I understand. Can you tell me about? To better help me understand, can you give me an example of fill in the blank? So what I hear you saying and suggesting is, how are you feeling about fill in the blank? I hear you saying that you're primarily concerned with, these are all sentence stems that help to clarify and paraphrase. Here's an example of a school climate team communication flowchart. It's important to remember that we often discuss things at the teaming table, but it's not always communicated out. And this is where your communication is very vital in building a sustainable system. So in this particular example, you will see that the school climate team is at top. So that's where the school climate team looks at what are the practices we're implementing, how are we training, how are we sharing that information. You will notice on the left side of the flow chart there is it's communication with educators. So who is those designated team members that will communicate with colleagues and other staff members? And how will they communicate? Will they communicate through email? Will they do some trainings at faculty meetings? And it's important to even get down to some of the details that, hey, we're going to use email and group reminders. We're going to use staff team collaboration, so PLC meetings, virtual platforms. Each one of those areas is important. Now on the right side, it's how can we use students that are involved in our school climate team to communicate and share the information to students? How will those students in return share that information? Will we have class officers involved that will go to the different classes and make announcements? Or will they send the information out by student email or newsletters or information to home? Will they post it on social media? Sometimes the school climate team communication flowchart just helps us establish in the beginning of how information is going to disseminate to those who need the information. Again, it's important that we remember communication is key to building a sustainable system. One of the resources that you will see following this is a blank template. Please remember, this is just a template. You can adjust it. You can make it what it needs to be to fit with your team. And the instructions are simple as, indicate how the information on the PBIS or trauma-informed SEL MTSS practices will be communicated to stakeholders. Be specific in the boxes. It's okay. I mean, it's yours to list and write all over. You want to make sure you're sharing that flow chart, so the flow chart just isn't established by an administrator or a school climate coordinator, or facilitator, or counselor, and just held in one area. That information is discussed and shared actively with team members and staff, and that the flowchart can be used with schools' professional development plans. To learn more about organizational communication, this is a good resource and reference. Thank you, and hope you enjoyed the technical assistance and resources.